This is the South Pacific Adventist News. Hello, I'm David Gibbons. The Australian Red Cross blood donor services are hoping that thousands of Adventists will turn out to donate blood in the 2 weeks running up to Easter next year. The You Can Too campaign, which was launched to regional presidents of the Australian churches last week, wants every able-bodied church member to donate blood. The campaign reminds members that Jesus gave his blood at Easter so that humanity could have life. Most of the Australian public think that Adventists don't believe in blood transfusions. This is in spite of the fact that the church has operated hundreds of hospitals and clinics around the world for over 100 years. Information will be sent out to all 490 churches across Australia in the new year. Adventist church leaders are hoping that over $100,000 was collected in Adventist churches across the Pacific last weekend. The mission extension offering will pay for a transmission tower which will broadcast the church's official Hope TV channel to the Morobe province in Papua New Guinea. Last year, the same offering totaled $123,000 and helped to build the new university church in Suva, Fiji. And in breaking news, Hope TV will be on free-to-air TV in Suva, Fiji by Christmas. Television rebroadcast equipment was air freighted from Australia and arrived on Tuesday, and installation work is expected to be completed on Monday the 17th of December.
More and more opportunities are opening around the world for the church to share its messages of hope.
The Cook Islands and other South Pacific locations expect to be broadcasting Hope TV in 2008. 8 tonnes of books and DVD stock was shipped out of the Warburton, Victoria warehouse of the Adventist Media Network last month, and it was all going to the South Pacific Islands. This will meet the demands which are expected over the Christmas and New Year period. The 16 Adventist book centres are the only Christian bookshops in most South Pacific Island territories. Each one has run profitably for 4 years, and at least 10 of them are now returning 10% of their profits to the Adventist Church as tithe. A multi-$1,000 shipment was also sent to Southeast Asia. Adventist Aviation pilot Roger Millist landed in Sydney this week, excited about the miracles he has already seen with the newly purchased aircraft in Papua New Guinea. For hundreds of isolated villages in the highlands and islands, the mission aircraft is their only connection with the outside world. Millist told Adventist News of just one recent miracle. He was flying a 1.5-tonne load of materials to build new churches in the West Sepik province. After having flown in good conditions, he flew into a black wall of heavy rain only 4 kilometres from his destination. It was too perilous to proceed, so he looked for another place to land.
I had seen an airstrip only 4 miles to the north. Landed and the whole village erupted in excitement, and I sensed that it was more than just seeing the aircraft. I subsequently discovered that most of the building materials I had on was for a church in that village, and they were praying that somehow God would make the aircraft land at Elliptiman, their airstrip. If I had not landed there, they would have to carry this ton of building materials by hand up from 3,500 feet, up over the ridge at 7,000 feet, and almost vertically back down to 3,000 feet. Not only is this our aircraft, but it is God's aircraft.
Locals are wanting an additional aircraft to assist this new one. And with only just over a week to Christmas, a novel reenactment of the Nativity has been played to over 12,000 people in Melbourne this week. Over 100 actors between the ages of 12 and 70 act out the various scenes of the birth of Jesus Christ, called The Road to Bethlehem. The show is about 40 minutes long and is entirely free to the public. The event has been run leading up to Christmas for the past 13 years in Nunawading, a suburb in eastern Melbourne, and is a recipient of the Whitehorse City Community Achievement Award. But Adventist churches are also featuring the drama in other places including Perth and Central Coast New South Wales. And in this week's record, tributes are given to pastors Brian Craig and Laurie Evans, who are both retiring from active leadership this year end. That's the news. I'm David Gibbons. Thank you for watching.